I know I already used this beat before, but I think I fell in love with it. So let me explain.
Love someone and learn to let them go. How do we fall apart on things we'll never know? Is it right you can change your ways just for someone to fill in your empty space? Tell me, is it really love if you have to ask if they'll stay?
I found you, my babe, so let me find my way. I barely understand some things, I need to let go freely until you understand dearly. I found myself in some depths, I can bear to think about death. I just wanted everything else to be about me. I barely understand myself, so you gotta understand it truly. I barely understand myself and my pork, and I barely understand anything else about it. I barely understand why these people say any things about me, but I barely understand it myself. I found you, my babe, so let me find my way. I can barely understand some things, I need to let go freely until you understand dearly. I found myself in some depths, so I can bear to think about death. I barely understand it myself, so you gotta explain it to me dearly. I'm just wondering, everything else is starting to be different. I barely understand myself, so you better find it my way. I found you, my babe, so I might as well find my way. I need to find my way before anything else. I barely understand it myself. I barely understand everything else about myself, so I gotta understand it truly. Is it really love? Can you explain some things to me? I barely understand it myself, so you gotta understand dearly. I can bear to think. I can bear to think about my own death. I can bear to think about your own death too. I can bear to leave the legs so I can lost my life, so I gotta understand it truly. I barely understand it. I lost myself. I found you, my babe, so let me find my way. I barely understand some things, so I need to let go freely until you understand dearly. I found myself in some depths, I can bear to think about my death. I can think everything else can be different. I gotta understand myself truly, so you gotta understand it dearly. I can barely find myself in some way, so you gotta understand it truly. I barely understand myself dearly. I gotta find some other ways to myself, so you gotta understand it truly. There's nothing else better about myself, I gotta think about it. I'm in some dolls, I don't think everything else. I'm in my own mind, I'm a prisoner of my own self. I barely understand it myself, so you gotta understand it. And I'm sorry, my dear. Everything else is starting to be different. I found my base, so let me find my way. I gotta find my way into my own heart. I gotta understand it truly. Is it really love if you gotta think about it? Is it really love if you gotta find yourself in a way? I barely understand it myself. I found my base, so let me find my way. I can barely understand some things. I need to let myself freely. I can barely let go freely. Everything else is different. I found myself in some depths, I can't bear to think about death. That's some deep shit.